Good morning. Hi. Good morning, queens. Good morning, empowered women. Good morning, the women who get it. So happy, and the girls that don't, please come on board. Come to this side of the team because it's the winning team. So, funny story. Yesterday, uh, oh, gotta check sound. Ever since I did some updates to my computer, it automatically reverts to a different type of microphone. So when I go and do a live, if I don't remember to change the setting, you can't hear the sound. So let me just double check. Y'all are still waking up, I know it. And some of you are still in bed. Testing, testing, testing. Setting. Yep, there it is. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, so it's dark here and raining, and I get this lighting here. And if you guys can see me, let me know. Hi. Um, Good morning once again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So let's just dive right into it because I'm ready to go. I'm always ready to go. So yesterday, I was at my local Starbucks. Good morning to the two queens that I met yesterday. And I shared before, if I'm out in public and I'm working, I always seem to come across women who are engaging in conversation about men upsets, having issues, and women they get together and they start having conversations about men and what they should do and how they should go about this and that, so on and so forth. And I think it's funny. I love it. I love it. This is another reason why I believe the energy you put out. Good morning for the ones that are hopping on. Say good morning. Drop a A in the comment. Let me know that you're here, because the all-seeing eye will let me know how many viewers, but it doesn't tell me who's watching. Um, so every time I go out in public and I'm doing my work, I'm writing, I'm researching, gathering more information for the books that are coming out. There's always women that I encounter that are having issues with men and having discussions. So I met two yesterday. I'm sitting there, I'm researching, putting notes together, and I couldn't but help but hear her exclaiming to the other lady, what should I say? What should I say? What should I do? So I heard a few things that indicated that this guy is not a man, he's a boy, and looked over at her and I was like, are you having issues with this guy? Like, what's up? And it is what I love about women that are empowered, they get to a point where they're just fed up, because they'll engage like readily and freely with ease and comfort with other women because they know that you're going to identify it. So she just freely, just says, yeah, I met this guy and we were talking. We talked for like an hour on the phone, and I think she said about a week they were talking to one another, and they decided to go out on a date, and they went on a date. And she's thinking things are vibing, as she should at this stage. Things seem to be okay. And she happened to share a funny video on his Facebook page, and a girl liked it, and not thinking anything of it, she just assumed that it could be one of his friends in the network, and it could be a family member, whatever. She's still getting to know the guy, so she can't narrow down who the woman was that liked it. But she was also happy that they liked the post because it was a really cool post. But ironically, he didn't like it. He didn't do anything, but he did pick up the phone and call her and say, from what she shared, I want to tell you that post was really cool. I liked it. In the future, just do me a favor. Can you send those things to my personal message box? Good morning, Queen Risa. Just sharing about a story yesterday that took place with two women engaging over an issue that one of the ladies was having with a man. So she sent, they went on a date, and I'll recap real quick. And she thinks that they're vibing, things are going well, as she should. They're communicating. He claims he's, whatever, available to date. Uh, but when she goes and puts a post up on his Facebook wall, it was a nice post, sharing a funny post. The woman liked it. Long story short, he calls her up and asks that if she could in the future, anything like that, just share it to my personal message box. I really enjoyed what you shared on my Facebook wall, but I don't really like look at my wall, just bullshit. I just send it to my personal Facebook message box. So instantly she's much older and wiser. So she says to me after she shares that, she's like, I'm calling bullshit. And that doesn't make sense. She goes, now I know that the woman who she goes, I thought it was funny. This woman liked the post and she was the only one to like it. And I kind of wondered about it. But, women in the beginning, you don't want to seem jealous and overbearing and you're giving the guy free reign. Let me just say this right off the bat. If a guy is looking to engage with another female to date, and he's saying that he wants to have a relationship, he wants to date you, he wants to see where things go because his objective and goal is to find a partner, a companion partner to settle down with for the long haul. If he has already said those words, then he has full responsibility. He's got a job to do to show in action that that is exactly what he's looking for. So there is no issue with you as the woman checking into that front to back. Okay. The manipulating tactic that is occurring today that would not be looked upon as manipulation maybe 20 years ago. And the reason for that is because our times have changed, our days have changed. Everything is, with a great many of individuals, anything goes. There's no boundaries, there's no respect. With the rise of internet dating, the men have the ability to go out there and cheat more. And women do this too. We'll touch on that, a little bit further. Do not let any man start holding you and backing you into the corner and saying things like, oh, well, you're acting a bit possessive and, you shouldn't really question. That's just my friend and this and that. If he's already making excuses, get rid of him. So in essence, this guy then turns around and, basically the truth comes out because she questioned it a bit and said, I didn't think that there would be an issue with sharing a funny post on your Facebook wall. We've been engaging. We went out on a date. I noticed the girl liked it and you're telling me to send it to your personal message box. She told me straight out. She knew that he made that request because he didn't want the other female to see it. And I said to her, absolutely. And more than likely, he didn't want maybe a few other females to see that as well, because he could be doing and saying the same thing to these other women. And meanwhile, his message blocks, he's got women in and out of his message box and he's engaging with them, in secret and nobody is aware. Understand too, there are girls out there who really don't care. They're, like I said, they're not empowered women and I would like them to wake up and get on that side because they are on a road of destruction and they are going to end up nowhere in these types of situations. So these girls, for lack of a better word, will fall back and lay low thinking that, they're respecting their man and they're giving him space. Like I was sharing in the other video, they think that they're this cool chick and they're not restricting him and, utter bullshit. What you girls are doing is laying low and you're settling and your selection is one of the gutter. And a lot of these girls eventually, if they're not forthcoming in the beginning, deep down inside do want to have something evolve, a relationship, or they have been so beaten, broke down, they've lost their identity and they think that they're, identifying like a man, like they have no emotion and they can fuck without emotion and, oh, you do you, honey, like it's disgusting. Yes, but this happens and that is indicative of broken women who have lost their identity and in turn are giving their power away to little boys. And so the little boys love these type of girls because they're easily manipulated. But of course, they'll don and they'll put on airs, these little boys, like, oh, you're just so cool. You're just so hip, like, thank you. Thank you for letting me walk all over you. Basically, because when the other women, call me out on my shit or I can't get a real woman, I at least know that I have a fallback for my fallback and I can still get laid at the end of the day and go to you because you don't really care. So that's what he's really saying. So next time, understand that translation. When you are asking for trouble, that is exactly what you're going to get. So this woman apparently, clearly, is not asking for that type of trouble and confronts him on the matter. And then all of a sudden, he acts as though he is one with integrity and comes forward and says, well, yeah, you're right. That girl that did like the post, she did give me some guff about it. And at this stage, the lady's like, I was just on a date with him. We've been talking. Like, okay, so he's with somebody. So his excuse for not having been forthcoming was, well, I was going to break up with her. I really like you. I like the way we're connecting. And I already knew that it's going to be over with her, and I don't want to be with her. What else did he say? She said, and here's the integrity part, the false integrity of a counterfeit boy. It's just so sickening what these boys do, and so sickening what some of you girls will accept as excuses and lowering your standards. Note, girls, not women. So he then says, here's the false integrity. I don't want to hurt her feelings. I just don't want to hurt her feelings. And I'm thinking automatically, I'm sitting there looking at this woman and I'm just like, yeah, there's so many thoughts go through my head. I don't want to hurt her feelings. Well, first of all, yeah, because it's more conducive, and the preventative measures that you are taking to not hurt her feelings is to be a snake behind her back, date another woman, right? And still conceal that while still being with her because you don't want to hurt her feelings. Now, he clearly was dealing with a real woman when he gave this response. Now, a girl who has not evolved into a woman, and perhaps maybe has not had the experiences that are necessary to learn these valuable lessons and to not enter into these perverse, leading to nowhere contracts with little boys. They will, in essence, hear some guy, or boy rather, say something like that as an excuse. And it won't even dawn on them initially, like, well, wait, he wasn't even forthcoming with me from the start that he was in a relationship with somebody. He portrayed as though he was not in a relationship, which is why we've been engaging. And they don't even think that right off the bat. Like, that should have been end of discussion, hit the road. But no, going a step further, because they already went on a date under false pretense, believing that he wasn't attached, and they like him, and they're desperate for a man. They're desperate for a man, and for, to cure loneliness and all these things indicative of not walking in self-respect and self-love. What happens when we don't do that? We settle and we compromise and we take whatever we can get. And that's not, obviously, as the women know, the best way to go. It's obviously the wrong road. So now she's all discombobulated and, emotionally has been raped and has been just completely unaware, no protection of her power. And so she turns around and she listens to his excuse regarding, they don't love you, Risa. That's right. They love the way the way that you love them. Exactly. So yeah, the woman, or the girl rather, they could have love, and the woman, but a woman who has love for a man like that and uncovers bullshit, she's going to hit the road and ghost. The girls, they don't have self-love to start with, which is why they'll continue to engage with a guy like this. So it's no longer about love. It's a codependency. It's a crutch. It's the only thing that they cling to feel validated and approved. And because why? They're not giving that validation and approval to themselves first, because if they were, they would be aware that they are worth and more valuable than hanging out in the gutter. And like Risa, like you said about competing, know the worth of the prize you're competing for, which is why women do not compete for a man. Girls do. because a woman knows that it's not worth competing for a boy. Rather, girls compete for that. And so what happens is these girls will then look at him and be like, oh, he's just so sweet and he's so understanding. That just really shows me that he cares about another girl's feelings and he doesn't want to hurt her. And he's such a nice guy. He's really a nice guy, and he's really not like that. He doesn't like to hurt women, and he doesn't like to hurt anybody. And so I can totally understand why he didn't break up with her before starting to date me. And he just needs time to come up with the words and the way to present to the girl that he's dating to let her know that he doesn't want to be with her. And then, when he's ready, he's gonna then, go full on with me and then invest with me. But, honestly, I really believe that he's already invested and full on with me because, we've engaged and I understand where he's coming from. And at least he was honest and he finally told me. And it's like, bullshit. Bullshit. Wake the fuck up. If the guy gave a fuck about the other woman and not wanting to hurt her feelings, you're out on a date with him, you're vibing with him, and you post on his Facebook wall something and another girl is privy to it, and the next thing you know, he's calling you up saying, I love the post that you shared. It was so funny. It's great. Listen, babe, do me a favor. Just can you send that in my messenger box? Because I don't really go on my Facebook wall, my timeline full of shit, right? So if he really, really cared about the other woman, and the reason why I'm telling you this is, because now he didn't even divulge the information prior to agreeing to go on a date with her, nor did he divulge the information when he requested that she start sending personal hidden messages in his personal message box of Facebook. He only divulged the information when this woman, much older and wiser, was aware of something. That when she posted this post, not only did he not like it, but a female liked it. And then the next day or whatever, he's calling up requesting that she puts these posts in his message box as opposed to on his Facebook wall, literally what he was saying for all to see. And so she said, I find it ironic. There was only one girl that commented on it. Is that somebody that you're dealing with? And is that perhaps the reason why you are shortly after requesting that I no longer post anything to your public timeline? Yeah, I gotta tell you. And now that he decides to say that he's dating this girl and that he's afraid of hurting her feelings, but yet he's already hurting this girl who is not aware because he's engaging with another woman behind her back and then telling the other woman that he really wants to be with her. And this other woman is a woman I met yesterday. Hi, if you're watching. He wants to be with her, but he just doesn't want to hurt the other girl's feeling. He doesn't know how to get out, which is obviously, like I keep saying, utter bullshit. So I looked at her yesterday and I said, you are going to get rid of him, right? She's like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have a little fun first. I was like, that's all right, like if you girls you want to do that, that's well and good too. She felt she wants to just torture him a little bit. And then I said, if you're gonna do that, that's great. But ghost his ass. Ghost his ass. Like, block him, no explanation, no nothing, get fucking rid of him. She's like, I already planned to, which I was so happy to hear. But again, older, wiser, more seasoned woman, she shared how she had been with narcissists, and I was like, oh, how ironic. And then we engaged further. Her sister was at her side. So then I later realized the other girl she was talking to, a woman rather, was her sister. So we have recently, as of yesterday, connected on Facebook. And you ladies, you are wonderful women. So she had shared, and the other sister had shared that she dealt with a psychopath, and there was a whole host of things going on with that. Guy has he's in jail now, and very, very scary to hear and to meet two new women publicly who shared that, the one guy literally tried to kill her. Been there, done that. This is when you're dealing with a highly disordered man, narcissist, sociopath, psychopath. In those categories, you are in danger zone. You are putting your life at risk, and there are threats that come with that. So this goes beyond just discussing toxic relationships, like, oh, everybody's toxic, and I hear all that talk out there when from naysayers and people that are not aware of the seriousness and the epidemic that is currently going on in the area of relationships, and why it is very important. And I will always stand by my messages and keep plugging away at it, because there are lives at risk. This is not about, well, everybody's toxic. Everybody has certain defects and things that they have to work on. If they choose to work on them, hey, amen. If they choose not to, that's a problem. If they are highly disordered, that is an entirely different situation with a narcissist, psychopath, sociopath. To anybody out there giving advice to anybody, especially if they have not lived with a narcissist, psychopath, sociopath, and you are out there, I hear this statement that's made even by professionals like therapists, counselors. Well, I can't really, determine what his condition is unless he's face to face with me. And the woman will go on discussing issues, and, said therapist may perhaps say, well, there's people that have issues, and maybe you could try this approach and that approach, and shame on you out there. And even if you're not in that profession, for even, hinting to trying to do conflict resolution, or asking somebody that is experiencing a highly disordered individual to even attempt conflict resolution with these toxic, dangerous types. And this is why I share my message, at least one of the reasons why I share my message, because there's enough information out there now readily available to anybody that can literally look at the signs and assess for themselves whether they are in danger or not. And that has been happening. And that is why there is a rise in narcissistic awareness. There's even a narcissistic awareness day. Psychopaths, sociopaths, that these three traits don't necessarily have to go out and physically be killing people, while they are definitely in the category and prone to do so. They can do something other than that that's emotionally and mentally damaging, which is no different. High disorder, narcissist, sociopath, psychopath, they can be comprised of serial killers. They're emotionally void. They try to destroy people emotionally, try to control. And then even on the physical level, you could just be dealing with a highly disordered individual that is just like, they call it like a malignant narcissist. Malignant narcissist likes to tear down, beat down, break down the mind, and get the individual to the point of having real low self-esteem, insecurity, to the point where they're depressed. They may have suicidal thoughts. Like these are some serious things. So for any individual that wants to dispute it, step up, because I have no love towards you if you don't start opening your mind at best and acknowledging. And I know there's a whole host of women that have experienced these highly disordered types, and people out there that will stand by me on this, that if you have not experienced this level of toxicity, take a seat. Take a fucking seat. Because I will continue to plug away at this message and keep going forward, so that women or girls rather, that are in these relationships and they are not aware, can become aware and start asking the questions. Maybe I may be dealing with a highly disordered individual and really need to look into this, because his jokes about killing me and his this and that, like certain things that are going on in relation to or in addition to comments being made are really starting to make me wonder about who I'm with and what I'm dealing with. So these two ladies that I met yesterday said that they've experienced this, they know. So justifying his deceit. Absolutely, Risa, justifying his deceit. And that's what he was doing. So I was really happy, and it was refreshing, because I knew at that point I didn't have to try to give advice, engage, warn, plead, and just say, please, step out of that. She automatically knew that that's what she must do. She has to do. So she decides she's gonna like torch him a little bit and then get rid of him and ghost him. And so I also said to her, you can go with this two different ways. I said, from what it sounds like, this other girl could be completely blinded and has no idea. He could be saying to her, he loves her, or he could have just bought her dinner and flowers just last night, and then he's telling you that you're the one he wants to be with while he's with her and while he's been with her. He may be the type to have no intentions on dropping either one. And in fact, he could be doing this with other women as well. So, like, how many messages does he have going in his inbox? You women out there have, you encounter a guy the moment he decides and he contracts with the, here it is, like, I would like to continue dating and see where things go because ultimately I would like this to lead to somewhere else. He's entered into a contract. Let's start looking at it like that. The moment he says those words and he is making or taking steps to do that, you have all fucking rights to check out his shit. You have all fucking rights to ask the questions. Okay? Who is that? Who is she? Why all of a sudden is this girl like on my trail or sending me a friend's request? Is there something going on? Because 10 times out of 10 there is. And usually when the other woman becomes aware or the other girl becomes aware of the woman, whatever, she's going to try to reach out. That's if she's not shady. That's if she's not, like I said, one of those gutter girls that just doesn't care. And that basically is a controlled partner, those gutter girls, and that's the term that it is. It's like if you're aware that he's in a relationship with somebody and like full on, and especially like they're living together, or even if they're not living together, like you're aware, like you're a gutter girl, like that's nasty. You're basically saying that you can use me whichever way you want, and you feel as though you're in control, but you're not in control, which is why you get pushed to and fro. And so in essence, what you are also in his eyes looked upon as is like a controlled partner. He controls you. He controls, like, you have no say, you have no relationship, there is no monogamy, you're not walking down the aisle, there's like nothing coming out of that other than stress, aggravation, confusion, diseases, just a whole host of things that I can go on with. It's disgusting. No real woman wants to fuck with that, and they don't. And that's why a lot of times these type of men, they are walking in deception, these boys rather, walking in deception that they are a man, and a woman uncovers that they are not, in fact, a man. They kick their ass to the curb. They don't look back. They do not pass go. They are gone. You girls, though, on the other hand, you're still latching on, and adjust that. Adjust that. Because women that are empowered and of that caliber are not going to have time to waste arguing with you. They don't really give a fuck how upset you are if you're choosing to still stand by that individual. They're going to look at you and just be like, look, I got out. If he was cheating, he was lying, you don't need to be coming to me about that because I'm the one that made the decision to leave. And that's it. I have no stress, no qualms. Like, if you left him and you want to vent, girl, I got your back. Girl power, like, come on this team. But if you are aware of what he did and I bounced and you're still with him, that's a problem. And that problem is yours. And you are not fighting over a prize. That's where these girls will start to try to compete, or they think they've won something. And in essence, you did not win. And this is straight up, all empowered women know this. You did not win. You did not win a prize. In truth, we don't give a fuck that you have a lying cheat. As long as the only thing we care about is that we got the fuck out of that. Like, we are free. So the myth and the idea, only girls are going to fight over boys. Gutter-minded, lacking in self-love and awareness. Two girls fighting over, well, he's mine, and no, he's mine, and on and on and on it goes. And meanwhile, he's out too fucking other women, and it's, what are you fighting over? You're fighting over garbage, literally. You're fighting over scraps, literally. And it's time to wake up to that reality, because in the end, and it always happens, you're going to crash and burn. You are going to have your heart broken. You are going to have pieces of you taken away. And this idea that you are feeling empowered by a trashy person, recognize it for what it is. A trashy person just giving you any type of time and attention because you are easily manipulated. As I said before, the real women are kicking those type of guys to the curb. They want nothing to do with them, and they don't give them the time of the day. And again, if the boy walks in deception and presents as a man, and there's certain things that appear to be on the up and up, and he gets a shot with a woman that has her shit straight and her mind straight, and she uncovers the bullshit, she's going to get rid of him. She's going to get rid of him. So you're not winning anything catering to these type of men and giving your power away to them, as I was sharing before. So understand, these are the things you want to look for. You're in a relationship with somebody, they're not honest with you, they're hiding things on social media, they are not publicly sharing that you're in a relationship. Another pitfall that you girls are falling into. And you empowered women, Risa, Tina, anybody else, you can drop more points in the comment, because there are a lot of girls that need help, that need our help too, that to recognize what these signs are. And once they're given the information to help them, they could be set free with that truth. And hey, another one for the team. But if they don't, that's on them. At least the information is getting out there. And I need to do my part to ensure that happens. It's what I teach my own daughters. Like, this has got to be said. What you do with the information then falls on you. So those consequences as well. So another thing is not being public about the relationship. Okay? And being deceived. You girls out there are like, oh, well, he's a private guy. He's a private guy, and he just doesn't want to share, with everybody. Like, nobody needs to know our business anyway. We're together. And it's like, yeah, babe, the boy, yeah, I love you. And that's all that matters. And it's like, nobody needs to know, like, that we're in a relationship. That social media stuff is like, bleh, bleh, bleh. But meanwhile, he's prostituting himself all over fucking social media. He's just doing it in the backdrop. He's accessing social media. You think he's not on there posting on social media? I guarantee you he's up in that fucking inbox day and night if he's a lying cheat. Okay? You may not see him post to social media. He may have a social media account. He may not. He may not even have a social media account. That does not mean he can't download Messenger. That does not mean he can't download Snapchat. Wake the fuck up. The idea, and I will put this very firmly again, the idea that you don't need to be checking on a man that you're in a relationship with is bullshit. This also, somebody had said, well, the moment that you have to even decide to check up on him, there's just like no trust. Like, that's just like an automatic like thing right there. Okay? Now, back in years ago, when it was less likely, and cheating did occur, so I say less likely before the rise of social media and dating websites, you would be mostly like, you would come to the conclusion and uncover if you did check into anything, which it was rare. Like, it really wasn't as necessary back then, because nobody had cell phones to go through and check in dating apps, and their husbands, while cheating went on, but the loyal ones, people's faces weren't in their phones and accessing the certain hookup sites that are out there today. And like I shared, there is an actual dating site out there specifically designed for married men and women who want to cheat on their spouses. Like, that's fucking disgusting. Straight up facts. Like, don't even fucking bother getting married. That's something that hits my nerve. Like, I've never been married. Okay. I understand the sanctity of marriage though. And I think that's low down and fucking dirty. Literally, like, you could hide your name, you could hide your pictures on this fucking site. Like, it's disgusting. There's no point. Okay. That's something else I'll touch on. But back when, they didn't have those concerns. So yeah, if you're with somebody for a year or more and you've invested and you have children with them, and you're talking possibility of divorce or dissolving the relationship, which is going to come with a hefty price. In the end, it's going to be a beautiful revelation and awakening, and you're going to be free, but you got to go through some heavy, heavy stuff, in order to dissolve that, right? So before that, you have absolute right to check into stuff and find out if they're on the up and up. In fact, it also means your life, because you don't know what that person's doing, who they're fucking around with, that can bring something to you. And I heard a devastating story years ago. I think I was 28 years old, 29 years old. I am now 45 years old. Okay. A long time ago. I think I've collected enough data and research, and everything happens for a reason. And anything that has happened in my life, my own choices, my own mistakes that I've learned from, my encounters with people, has been all cumulative for this very day. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm going to impart it. So real quick story before I touch back on why it is permissible to get information and check on that guy that you're dealing with. Because, and two, if you want to cover something, hit the fucking road. That's it. Let it go and get that healing on track. But you have all right, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, or a guy or a boy rather make you feel guilty and say things like, oh, well then see, you don't trust me, and he's full of shit. Because if you have red flags and there's something going on, in your gut, you need that information. And a lot of times, most women need that information to heal and have that hardcore evidence to know that they're not dissolving, walking away from a father of their child or a marriage partner, which is going to cost money for divorce. And in some states, infidelity, whatever, the woman automatically wins if she catches her husband, betraying her and having affairs, and that's it. She doesn't have to pay shit for divorce. Okay. So it's absolutely permissible, because that evidence, and like I said, in some states, is valuable in court when you have to file a divorce against the lying G. Okay. So true story is this. He is a police officer up in North Jersey. And like I said, this story is when I was 29 years old. I will not release names. And this is the saddest thing. And I was friends with this girl who was HIV positive. And I met her. Where did I meet her? We were in my neighborhood. I was at a corner store getting stuff, and we just started talking, and she was like into these bands, and we talked, and then she shared her status. And, having worked in healthcare, I'm not one of those people like, ooh. And back then, people were still like not sure. Like, I'll talk to anybody, not judging at all. So I thought even more so, like, this girl needs a friend, because back then the stigma was much more severe. So I became a friend to her, and then had to dissolve that shit about 4 or 5 years later, real fast, when she said this. Get ready for this, folks. Let's get some truth, because the truth shall set you free. And I hope you're sitting down for this. And I hope that once you hear this, you wake the fuck up, because this is a reality. And I say that with love. When I say wake the fuck up, I am pleading, wake the fuck up. So friendship was great for a while. Talked about things, hung out. About 4 or 5 years into it, she tells me she started seeing this police officer who's married. And automatically I'm thinking that's a no-go. Then she says that they had sex. And they had sex without protection. I said, what? What is that about? Her exact words were, well, that was his choice. She's HIV, police officer, married with kids. What the fuck are you thinking when you think cheating is cool? Anybody out there that thinks cheating is cool. You play with fire, you will get burned. Wake up. And if you're engaging and entertaining anything of such right now, get the fuck out of it, because I'm telling you, it's going to catch up. It will catch up. So this ain't a matter of looking sexy, throwing on lingerie, coming around with virgin martinis or alcoholic beverages, if you can drink alcohol, about kicking it, shaking that ass, and, oh, I'll do what I want to do, and I'll hook up when I want to hook up. Keep being like that. Keep being blinded. Keep, getting your validation and your confidence like boosted from trash and thinking like it's class. And like I said, shake that ass with class, not trash. Straight up facts. So I was appalled. I said to her, he has a wife and he has children. I was like, if anything, the children, his wife has no clue. Well, I feel bad about it now. I do feel bad about it. Now I'm thinking initially when I was not happy to hear what you shared, you instantly was like, well, his choice, he decided. But now that you're saying that I'm not cool with that, now you're telling me that you do feel a little bad about it. And I wonder. So I don't think she did in that moment, but later on she sure did. Because that officer was like harassing her, banging on her door. Yeah, like there was a lot of stuff going on with that scenario. Okay, because he obviously found out. Okay, here's a sad fucking point. Those out there that don't give a shit if he cheats and I'll fuck with him even when he's fucking with multiple people. Here's a sad point. That poor woman had no idea her trashy husband was doing that and was still sleeping with her husband, thinking that that's her husband. They're in a monogamous relationship. He's clean. There's the value of trust out the door. So fuck any person out there, not you queens, that loves trash, that thinks cheating is cool, because my mind is thinking of the then 2-year-old and 5-year-old child who now probably doesn't have their mom today, and God willing, maybe she's alive because she trusted that husband and was still sleeping like that's her husband. She's not thinking anything. So he passed on this illness to her because he wanted to be a smut. And so now today we have dating sites out there. Okay. So while it was his choice to cheat, he in essence put that woman in a situation to choose something forcefully that she would have never ever like you can't do that. You want to be nasty, filthy, a lie and cheat. Okay. That's your issue, which is really disgusting. You will burn in flames at the end of the day. And that does come to pass eventually. It will bite you in the ass. But it is not your right to stand up on your soapbox and talk about how you can choose as many partners as you want. You could fuck as many people as you want and put other people in fucking danger. Like punishable by law shit. And you're a nasty, vile individual. And I'm going to put it right out there. If you are intentionally laying down, sleeping with other people, being aware of that. If you're an individual like this woman, this poor woman didn't even know she was being cheated on by her husband, much less with somebody that had HIV and didn't use protection. Like you poor ladies out there, my heart goes out to you. I'm there with you in your corner. And this is why I will share these messages, because I want you to know that there's women out there that are empowered, that understand that. And we're here, like I said, not to cock block any guy, but to castrate them. I'd like to see an awakening and an awareness, which is already, we're in that season of empowered women rising up so that you girls out there that are playing these games don't end up in a nasty situation and start sending a message to these men. So it's much deeper than, oh, well, he cheated, just leave. And there's people's lives at risk, and there are highly disordered guys out there that are causing harm to women, emotional harm to women that could lead to death, whether either by the abuser's hand or by that victim's own hand from being constantly oppressed in such an environment like that. There are a whole host of issues going on in our world today that is literally crisis mode. And so that's what this is all about. So the little boys out there that want to bitch, moan, and complain, they can bitch, moan, and complain all they want. There's women rising up in awareness, women that are coming to the forefront. They're speaking their truth, and they are standing up against this type of fuckery. And that's basic bottom line. So now here's the scarier part. This is where I wanted you to hold on to your seat some more. You thought the ride was over? Oh no, it's just begun. So, and that's right, Tina, highly dangerous circumstances. So she tells me that apparently there's a group of people, because she also went to these support groups for people with HIV, And again, this is back when I was 29. I'm now 45 years old. I don't even know where she is, what happened to her. I know she was like really sick for a period of time. Like she's a human being. I don't think she's with us today, which is sad. That part's sad. I get all that. But she tells me that in these support groups that she goes with other people with HIV, there was a name for it. And the name escapes me right now, but I cannot think of what the name is, but they go by a certain name and they literally go out trying to have unprotected sex. I said, for what? To infect people? She's like, no, they don't do it to infect. They do it because they want to know what it feels like because it's been so long, having not worn a condom. And because of the status, they can't be honest with people and tell them, but they just want to know what that feels like again. And fucking lust, dude. Fucking nasty lust, okay? And that's why they do it. And again, they go by a name. So wake up and be aware, okay? There are people out there with these conditions that intentionally do that for that reason. Because they don't want to wear a condom and they don't like the way it feels. And because they're not clean, they don't have the luxury of being able to not wear one in a monogamous relationship because they were too busy not being fucking monogamous, obviously. So they don't have the luxury of experiencing the facets of sexuality that others can. Because they have fucked up way too many times. So you have a sect of individuals, according to this girl that I met years ago who was HIV positive, who shared that in her group with these other individuals, there's a sect of them that actually go out and intentionally, not to infect. She's like, they don't do it with the idea to infect somebody else. They do it just so they can feel what that's like again. Get the fuck out of here. So remember that the next time you girls are out there talking about, well, he can have as many people, he can fuck her, but it ain't good as my sex. Or I know he's with her, but whatever. Like, think about that. Because while he may not have anything, you don't know who he's fucking with does have. You don't know who they're messing with does have and what their thoughts are. Hell, at some point in time, it could be somebody that comes out of that group. So, hello, reality. Yeah, we're bringing it. Truth shall set you free. Embrace the lie. That's a problem. Don't embrace the lie. Embrace the truth. The truth shall set you free. And you show me anywhere on social media in this forum where this is being brought to the forefront. It exists, but it's being brought to the forefront. And the reason why it hasn't been is because it's a touchy situation and, nobody wants to hear something because it's going to hurt, offend, and make it hard for them to do whatever it is the fuck they want to do. And so this is where the discussion of what empowered means, past tense, and what empower means, and what free will means. That just because the word free will has free in it, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing to do. Free will, you can choose whatever the hell you want to choose. You can choose to fuck up your life. You can do whatever you want to do. Hopefully through these messages, you come to the conclusion, you know what? And whether you drop it in the comments and whether you come forward publicly and say, I need to change this. I need to change this. That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to do that. But as long as you, behind closed doors, you do it and wake up. Understand that entertaining a lying, cheating person puts you at more risk than just the act itself. Going forward, understand that entertaining a lying, cheating person and then saying, well, everybody makes mistakes, that there are some mistakes that you will never come back from. Understand that. You have your health, your mind, everything intact. I don't know about you, but I love keeping that shit. So the moment I detect falsehood, my mind, my body, it's like protected. I don't give my power away to nobody. You have your mind, your body, your health intact. You better hold on to that like the priceless gem that it is and stop chasing dick. But you have free will. But don't call yourself an empowered woman. You are not empowered when you were giving your power away in that capacity. And therefore, you do not have the ability to empower other women to move forward in that capacity of empowerment. Okay? And sending the message to the other little girls and the teens that it's okay to shake your ass for every single man and fuck every man. And, men, they lie and cheat anyway. All of them do it. No, they all don't do it. And you're right, Tina. That is so not a mistake. The only thing that will make you believe and fall prisoner to the idea that all men are like this and that's all that's out there is by hanging in the fucking gutter. Get out of the gutter. Okay, there are men, there are boys that they're gutter minded. And if you're a gutter minded girl, then you know what? You're gelled and fused right together. Just understand this. You gutter minded girls, you gutter minded boys that don't like this message that I fucking approve, stay the fuck away from the true women and the men. Stop trying to engage with us. Stop trying to date us. Stop trying to compete with us. Stop trying to infiltrate our space. Stop trying to come at us with your filth to try to get us to change our mind, to call evil good and good evil, and that your ways are hot to trot, because it's fucking not. So when the gutter-minded girls and the gutter-minded boys get through their head to keep to their side of the fence, keep that trash over there, right? Then there's going to be greater awareness for them. The girls who are innocent bystanders, the girls that are not aware that they've been lied to, the girls that have walked into deception with manipulating men or boys, because I have preference for men, so I slip up and say men a lot because that's really where my fucking focus is, honey. And when I say focus as in that's my vibe. I don't fuck with boys, and personally, I have no desire to date at this stage of my life. I'm happy and I'm fulfilled. When it comes, it's coming, but it's not going to be with no little fucking boy. So just giving you an explanation, sometimes I slip up with the men because I'm vision minded. I'm not boy minded. Get away from me with all that trash. Start adopting that mindset, that attitude, and you're going to find yourself in a happier place first and foremost. Okay? And you're going to have more strength and the ability to get rid of the trash and to shut it down if ever it comes your way. Okay? So those poor girls out there that are not aware and they're just jumping into the dating arena and they think that, it's okay to allow this guy to have many partners, and when he figures it out, he'll come back to me. And when he does come back to me, oh my God, yes, Risa, that's so true. Real men. And when he does come back to me, that means I'm the real one, or I'm that bitch. Be that bitch with a crown on your head, sweetheart. Like, no, you're not. Like Risa says, and I will always use it because it's so freaking true and phenomenal. Know the worth of the prize you're competing for. Don't waste your time, she says, my time, with your boyish bullshit games. Boom, Yahtzee. Like, you're not even competing. It's not a competition. There has to be a challenge. Like, what is this? What is this? But the poor girls out there that are just new at dating, stop accepting the drugs, the booze, the cheating, the lying, the excuses. Now, I just want to touch on real quick what's permissible and why. It's your body. It's your life. It's your personal space that could be potentially being violated. You're in a long-standing relationship. You have every right to check that phone. You have every right to check those banking statements. Okay? I think that in the professional arena, whether it come down to counselors or whatever else, if they don't get on the ball with shit, that's all fine, because guess what? Coaches, mentors in this arena, and the wealth of information and research that is out there, like, people are highly capable of building their intellectual endurance and awareness. And I can pick up a psychology book, which I've done, picked up many of them, and I can sit there and study that stuff front to back and learn what is taught in a school. Okay? That's not hard to do. Okay? The only difference is, if you were there was classes when I went to college, there was things that I was studying on the breakdown of families and homelessness through a lot of research. Plus, I at one point had experienced that. By the time I hit into the college doors, I aced all my courses in sociology. Okay? So this idea that you got to have this fucking piece of paper is just bullshit and an idea. And thank God social media is here, because while it serves some evil purposes, it has a purpose for good. So if professionals aren't stepping up to the plate, rest assured, people like myself and in my network will do that. And where I'm going with this is that, to understand, there are multitudes of dating sites out there that are allowing, and there's a huge one, and I shared this before, and I hate saying the name because I don't want to even fucking publicize these pigs. They're disgusting. So I'm not going to even say the name today, but if you go through my other videos, you'll see it. They have like millions of users across the globe. They were actually even in the paper, in the news. They were getting shut down for a period of time. In fact, because their site was infiltrated. They were hacked. Their site was hacked. I think I'll do a post about it. I'll share it, and then you guys can research that too. And I think that is important to know, because it serves a dual purpose. It's called Ashley Madison, and that's for the women out there that could be in these relationships and they don't know what their spouse is up to, but they suspect something. You need all that information, that evidence, and get the fuck up out of the marriage. Like, get away from these guys, because they're pigs. And you have this site, Ashley Madison, that is catering to men and women, and it's dominated mostly by men, even though the forum is open to women. So there you have it right there. What does that say about you boys out there, rather? Okay, that's pretty disgusting. Statistically, yeah, women cheat and they're just as gutter-minded too. But statistically, and men, you're supposed to be leading, and so you're entertaining that. I'd like to see the real men are going to step up to the place and be like, no, honey, I don't just lay down with anybody. I mean, they may not use the word honey, but real men will come right out and set the record straight. Like, if you're trashy like that, I have no interest in that. I don't want a woman that's all over the place and has been with anybody. He'll tell you straight out. He will tell you straight out. And if he uncovers it, game the fuck over. Like, you think us women operate like that and we're the only ones? I've come across some men that are the same way. And that's just because of mindset. That's just about how much you value yourself. At that point, it's not even an issue of the sexes. It's like what you think about yourself, how much you truly love yourself. So, Ashley Madison allows these husbands or whatever to conceal their identity, even credit card fucking statements. There's something in there about hide your credit card thing. I haven't gone into it fully because I get annoyed when I see it, but I will be researching it further. And yeah, there's going to be a lot coming up with that. That shit needs to be shut down. But anyhow, so for you professionals out there, like, I understand divorce lawyers love divorce, but get the hell out of here. We are in a world that is rising in evil, and there's a lot of crap going on, but also, when things get the darkest, the light can shine the brightest. So there is still good, and there is a lot of good. Nobody has fucking time to be worrying about when our children are in disarray, our families are breaking up across the globe, about how much money you want to put in your pockets as a result of that. And fortunately, that is why there is a network. That is why I'm here today. Didn't think that this is where it was going to be. I used to always wonder, why am I always encountering, toxic scenarios that I've seen in people, and researching, coming across so many things. Like, basically, if anybody, you look over everything you've been through in your life, and you really sit down and try to determine what your vision is, you will find that every single thing that you've been through, if you put the pieces of the puzzle together, like a beautiful mosaic masterpiece, you're going to find that all those scenarios, trials, mistakes, lessons, choices have all been for a purpose, and it is to basically reveal what your vision and purpose is. That's how you find out, by the way, what your vision and purpose is. Really think about the things that mean the most to you, that are pressing, something that you want to take a stand for and against. Okay, mine is hands down, having experienced so much the breakdown of families and relationships. I don't want to fucking profit off of its demise and by keeping it in a perpetual cycle of dysfunction. If I'm going to profit down the road, it's to reinvest, to grow bigger as a result of seeing another individual break free and having the tools and the skills to do the same, and to also see women coming together, which that is happening, to start shutting down these boys. Because like Risa said yesterday, let them play in the sandbox with themselves. And that's exactly what needs to happen. It's disgusting. Pathetic and disgusting that any boy can go on a site and cheat on his wife, or they're not even just married men using the site, because now that people have become aware, even just men that are just wanting to fuck around are using Ashley Madison to find these nasty women. That's it. You're nasty. You have a chance and a choice to not be nasty, but if you're exercising your free will to operate like that, while that's your choice, like I've always said, these men, gutter-minded boys, gutter-minded girls, keep on your side of the tracks. Stop trying to infiltrate the healthy-minded with disease, coming through with deception and presenting that you as a girl are really a woman, or you as a boy are really a man, and then you want to come on this side of the fence, and then when you get shut down, and real women, real men push you off, you want to cry foul, you want to cry judgment. It's like, no, if you're nasty and you're trying to engage and you're trying to conceal that part of you and that lifestyle, and you have literally tried to deceive somebody, you're a con artist on top of it, like, what did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen? Somebody of healthy mind, like you women out there, Harmonica, Risa, Tina, a whole lot of the empowered women that come to this forum, they don't want that shit. So stop trying to force it down everybody's throats. And you girls that are stuck in that cycle with these men, like I said, a lot of it too has to do with, you may think you're making the choice to operate at that gutter-minded capacity alongside him, but the truth is you've been manipulated because of lack of self-love, wanting to connect, wanting to be with a man more than protecting your own power. You fall for his lies and his bullshit and his manipulation and settle. But if you were to empower yourself and take your power back and call him out on his shit, and like I said, I encourage it, every message, pick up that phone and end it today. Ghost his ass. Okay? Ghost him and whoever else. Lying, cheating, drama, not going anywhere. Give yourself the opportunity to do better. Stop giving them another opportunity when you should give yourself the first chance to have the best. And you can't do that with that in the way. But you're falling prey to these tactics. And I guarantee, once you take your power back, watch how disinterested and nasty they get. Then you're going to be on our side of the team. You're going to see their true colors. They are nasty, vile. They will say they don't give a fuck about you. The only reason why they care about you is because you entertain and allow their lying, their drama, their cheating, keep giving them chances, keep believing their stories that they're really a nice guy. They just don't want to hurt the other girl's feelings. But meanwhile, they've just said that after they fucked her 5 minutes ago. Like, you don't know. You're not in the house. But I can guarantee you that's what goes down. Wake up. Oh, well, I'm going to get him one day. Oh, it's not going to be like that forever. That's my man. No, that's not. That's everybody's man. You don't want to be with somebody that's everybody's boy. And it's literally, he's entertaining other women that, I'm not even going to go on that part because that's going to go to it's disgusting, basically. It's stop playing at below par. Get in the big leagues. U.S. Open, baby. Get in the big leagues. Stop playing with trash. Which is funny too, because there's women out there, they're like, I like the U.S. Open, but then you're playing with trash. There's no fucking challenge. You just like to watch it on TV. Get in the game, honeys. Get in the game. What a Pig is right, Risa. It's sad. It's really, really sad. Her Monica says, okay, she went on a date with a guy from one of my Facebook friends. Never said he was getting married next month. He tried to play me for a week. Oh my fucking goodness. Disgusting. And the reason why he did that is because he was a cheat before he got engaged and decided to get married. I know this pattern so friggin' well. And I guarantee at one point that woman knew about it and gave him another opportunity, which is why she believes in her mind that she was eventually able to lock him down. So that engagement was long time coming, and he probably got caught, got called out on the foul, and engaged. And that type of man never will commit. He's a waste. And women are going to be wasting their time. I shared a story a while back in one of my lives. I took care of an elderly guy, 98 years old. His family completely disowned him, even his children. He had to have a caretaker come into the home to take care of him. I was hired through my agency to do it. And he shared. He served in the military, Mr. Pretty Boy. And when I say served in the military, literally active duty, had the guns, was fighting, not, whatever. And he cheated a lot. He cheated a lot, and he was a heavy drinker, and he did it all throughout his marriage. And false commitment is right, Risa. He did it all throughout his marriage. And he was crying at the table with me. And like I said before, I'm not going to lie, I felt bad for him at that point. And I felt bad because I knew his day had come. It's like, that's a shitty place to be. Wow, you're 98 years old, and this is all you have to take care of you, somebody who's not even your blood, your family. And I am a highly compassionate person. I give any of my patients in the past that I've taken care of, which is, I got my awards sitting on my wall that mean to me and just confirm to me what it means to really meet somebody with empathy when they're sick even. That's the biggest thing. And the book that I have coming called From Loneliness to Life, it discusses everything that I'm talking to you guys about. But in that moment with that guy, that's sad. That's heart-wrenching. A lot of these girls out there out of loneliness and not having that love and not filling that void the right way, you're reaching out to trash and things that are going to destroy you, as is the case what happened to this elderly man. And I felt at that point in that season, since I was his caretaker, to make him, I wanted him to feel loved and cared for. And because he was truly sorry. It was sad. As I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about it, but let me just plow through, because then I'm going to get emotional about it. But bottom line is, the guy had tears pouring out of his eyes and said that he was a messed up man to his wife, and she was a good woman. And he lied and he cheated so much to the point that he literally destroyed his relationship with his two sons. They wanted nothing to do with him because of all the pain and the heartache that was caused to the mother. And ironically, though, that beautiful woman ended up, she did remarry, because I asked, whatever happened to her, and she remarried and found the right one in love. And here he was, no family, no friends, in this little apartment. And at 98 years old, had the revelation that he can't go back and change anything, and that if he had the opportunity, he would. His life was not enriched anymore after he lost pretty much everything. So think about that. And that's another thing I don't think that people out there that operate like this, yeah, they realize when it's too late, Risa. And that's exactly, that was my next point. I don't think that there's people out there, I know they don't. They think they're going to live forever. They think that it's the way to go. They think that they're happy and are oh so happy sleeping with this one, that one, waiting around for that one to leave the other one while they're fucking them on the side. And get a hobby. Honestly, get a hobby. Really be about that self-love. Get out of that. Like, is the depression so much and the anxiety so much that you can't be by yourself? You can't learn to love yourself? Like, are your plights when you're alone? Like, do you hate yourself that much that you don't want to be alone with yourself? And if that's the case, go to a therapist that you can trust, a counselor. Continue to watch these messages that are being shared. And there's others in my network that are touching on the topics of relationships just at a different angle. Fill your mind and your spirit with that knowledge and that information and that, the hard truth when you need to be told the hard truth. And it's all in love, like it's being done right now. And then there's times that we're joking around and we're laughing and playing. Fill your mind and your thoughts with the information available to you that's being shared on these platforms, in addition to pick up some books and start reading. Stop entertaining trash, right? Garbage in, garbage out. And what you put out there comes back to you, good or bad. And it's true. It's true. And I firmly believe, though, too, even if you're on a bad track, if you reverse that, like, smoke, fucking reverse that real quick. Like, if you reverse that, you have the ability, healing just does not come in deciding to make right choices. It also manifests in other ways too. It rights the wrongs, literally rights the wrongs within yourself and within your environment. So you can start ushering the moment you decide to get on course and really start taking the work seriously to be self-aware, to accept the hard truths that that's not the way to live. This anything goes mentality. Some of you are doing it for so long, you're going to feel utterly alone. Utterly alone. Like, well, who do I get to fuck tonight? And my phone's not ringing. And text, like, go through the damn withdrawals. And that's the case, if you're going through a withdrawal and anything you have to withdraw from, understand it's not good. It's not good. That's right there is your sign that it's toxic if you're withdrawing from something, right? So get into rehab. Maria's rehab. Get some books. And get yourself clean, because at the other side, it's amazing and it's beautiful. There's freedom. There's total freedom. I love when my phone is not going off ringing and texting. There was, I think, one video I said that I like my phone, I wanted to throw it into the ocean at Bora Bora. In fact, I wrote a quote. That's what it was. I wrote a quote about that. Throw my phone into the ocean when I'm in Bora Bora, and which is where I plan I'll be taking a trip. I'll buy another phone. But just the fact that when I hit the sand, when my toes hit the sand in Bora Bora, and I go to sit down and have a drink, my phone rings once. It's like in that blue ocean. Goodbye. Right? Learn to be with yourself and to be at peace and love yourself. I don't have to worry about no lying, no cheating, no drama, no psycho chicks, like, calling up. Some of you girls out there are dealing with like really unstable chicks because they're dealing with unstable men or boys, and you've dealt with them at some point or the other, or rather not even, you're still dealing with that, and your phone's ringing like, yeah, she thinks this, and well, I'm still going to be friends with him regardless. That's my friend. I've known him for years. Meanwhile, she's fucking him. And she's saying to the other friend, like, she's just up and up, Miss High Class, woman of integrity. Like, he's like a brother. Such bullshit, right? And then on the other end of the spectrum, they're being nasty, right? Incestual. Oh, that's like my brother. Come on now, right? But she's spinning off a message to somebody else to try to make herself look good, because ultimately, if she were acting that out, that would make her look good if she was living by those principles. But deep down inside, that's a trashy female. Period. Taking pride in that is a path of destruction. It's going to lead you nowhere. And I guarantee that. Look, see, here it is. Here it is there. Oh, where's that ocean? Didn't take long. So anyhow, Yeah, and then that guy that's fucking with the supposed friend or ex, you know, Bora Bars on my bucket list. Girl, then you and I, Risa, we gotta go because I'm putting together, like, I plan on doing this next year. And I'm just waiting for cancer clear on my daughter's end. There's things that I just gotta get in order before I can really fully enjoy that. Um, I don't want that on my mind with my daughter, but man, we gotta link up. And as time goes on, I'm sure we will. Uh, so yeah, like, yeah, he's just a friend, or that's just an ex, and we're just friends. And meanwhile, they're screwing with each other, and that guy's lying to the other woman, and he's playing both sides against the middle, and that's what these boys do. They like to play both sides against the middle. So watch out for that trash. And oh, you girls out there uh, who have a good man and he's taking care of everything and whatever, and you're married and you're fucking around on him, like literally you're despicable. You're despicable. So like I said, this is not just like pointing to men, but there's a higher number of men that screw this. But thank you so much, Risa. Thank you. That's nasty. Like, there are women out there, like, they would love to have a guy. Like, if you don't want to be married, get the fuck out of your marriage. Like, I don't give a crap. I don't want to hear the stories. And this is something I've heard before. It's so despicable. It just costs more money to divorce, and do the fuck what you have to do. Nothing in life that you get or that is a gain is ever fucking easy to start with. You got to work 10, 12 hours, eat a day just to collect the damn paycheck. You work and get your job done. Like, do what you have to do. Like, some of you all are just sitting in relationships, or marriages rather, because you don't want to have to pay child support. Get the fuck out of here. So, okay, that makes more sense because you want to avoid court fees and child support. It's easier to cheat on your partner's back, behind their back, and catch something, or bring back some psycho lady, or to hurt your children when they later become aware that Uncle Johnny was never really fucking Uncle Johnny, or, like, get out of here with this stuff. And I say this because of another story that I came across going back 7 years ago. And this was a boy whose parents was into the swinging lifestyle, and he grew up knowing that there was multiple people coming in and out of his house, and later uncovered as he became a man and he was in college what his parents really did with their lives. That they were like swinging, with multiple people, that these weren't just friends. Like, he said that completely, in a blink of an eye, rearranged and destroyed what the sanctity of marriage looked like to him. Like, it completely blew his mind because he grew up seeing mom and dad, this is the household, they're married, and then a bunch of people coming in, and when they realized that that's what that was, he was like, what the fuck is a marriage even for then? So, child's being raised around that. He was raised around and seeing that as a kid, thinking they were friends. Think of how much of a shock and how traumatizing that was. Like, this is dad's friend, this is mom's friend, growing up. They fucking lied to him all throughout adolescence. So yeah, that was going to come as a hard blow when he uncovered they were all fucking each other. He was just like, why are they married? Like, the guy had so many questions, and he stayed single for a long time as a result of that fuckery. Like, wake up. Wake up. Your free will to make wrong choices has consequences for other individuals. So if you're out there counting that you're Mr. Animal Rights Activist, Mrs. Animal Rights Activist, you are about the people, and you are about kindness, and you are about civilization coming together, they call that virtual signaling. For the greatest offenders out there, because the greatest offenders out there that are virtual signaling, hiding behind a cause that is good and just, and look at just me, I eat right, and I'm protecting the trees, and I'm exercising, like all these things. Yeah, it makes one question everything. It's so true, Tina. So you guys are out there doing this, Practice what you actually fucking preach. Because behind closed doors where nobody's looking, that's where the reality is. That's where the truth is. That's where the evidence is. It's like at that point, understand your free will to choose to fuck up, puts your life at risk, and then your free will to choose furthermore to lie and deceive an individual who doesn't operate like that and then drag them into your pig pen, like that's not kind. That's not looking out for mankind or someone else. And it's not enough to say, well, they've made a choice. They didn't make a fucking choice when you're walking in with deception. You boys out there pretending to be men and being on the up and up, and the same with you girls. If you're out there pretending to be women like you're on the up and up, meanwhile you're breaking these guys' hearts, you're fucking multiple men on the side. Okay? Like that shit's not cool. And no, these individuals on that side of the fence did not have a choice when you're walking in deception. It's like not every day is somebody coming up and sitting down and say, hi, I'm going to pretend that I want a monogamous relationship with you, but just understand in the clause, in the fine print, I'll be fucking other people on the other side. Is that okay with you? If you actually had that fucking conversation and somebody chooses at that point, then I can say they made a choice. But 10 times out of 10, that is never the fucking case. You guys are out there virtual signaling, hiding behind clauses, acting like you're on the up and up, and you're fucking lying and deceiving people. And then when you get called out on your bullshit, you want to cry injustice and judgment. Stay the fuck on your side of the fence in the mud. Or level up and get out of that. Stop coming after people that have morals, integrity, and standards, because we're going to butt back. And the way we're going to butt back is we're going to just call you out on your shit, and it's going to be awfully embarrassing at the end of the day. That's why I never see, and I'm waiting for it. I've never came across anybody, because I make these lives eventually public, where they're all like, I stand for the cheaters. How dare you? I'm a cheater 10 years now, going strong. We could do what we wanted. Like, you never see that because they know they hide in the shadows. They hide in the shadows because they know deep down inside the way they're living, the choices that they're making are utter bullshit, right? In a nutshell, utter bullshit. Okay? So again, free will to choose that. But it would be a beautiful thing if those individuals actually choose their free will to be empowered. What do you queens think? Could anybody answer a question? Why is it that some people are more readily able to use their free will for evil and, degrading themselves and trying to drag others into that? They're more readily able to do that than using their free will to empower themselves and to empower one another, and to not like give their power away. What would make one do that? Bottom feeders. Tina says bottom feeders. She's always going to say something like, it's true. See, Marisa comes out with stuff too. I love you, queens. Bottom feeders. I think, yeah, bottom feeders, because it's just easier to just like drag yourself on the bottom of the murky waters, the floor bed of the murky waters, that you just like a slug, like takes work, I guess, the other way. I don't need grief drama like me behind closed doors. Look at this. Echo. I still got to get furniture for my home, right? Look at this. I would trade this for nothing. There is no Joker coming in my palace. It's just me, my daughter, my pets, my vision, my goals, my writing, my everything. Going for spas. Yeah, I sign myself up for spas every month. I don't give a crap. I said that's it. I got to start de-stressing myself and doing things to feel good. Continue to feel good. I don't have time to be playing. Satan is the prince of deception. There you go. You know what, Risa, you just reminded me of something when you said that. One of the things that's to blame for that is that that movie or that show Lucifer, like I noticed that there's some guys out there that like think that they're the guy Lucifer like on TV, like really pathetic. And like there's girls who are like, oh, you look like the guy from Lucifer. And yeah, like you said, Satan is the prince of deception, and like literally, it's a seducing spirit out there, and that's what the seducing spirit encompasses. Everything that I've just shared, it's just nothing. It leads to death, and it's going on. And so when that show came out, like people were like, "Yeah, this is cool." Like, "Ooh, that's so seductive." Like people like I don't know, like I'm cool with when I have my partner, like game on, like I'm all about sex. I'm all about intimacy. I'm all about seduction. I'm all about having fun. I'm all about, like all that stuff, intellectual conversation. Like I'm not, these people are just so desperate to just spread themselves out with like mankind. It's like, yeah, I told my son that I want, and go for it, girl. They have at the, I walked into the massage parlor and I said to the lady, I said, what do you have for like stress? Because like I do a lot. I got a lot on my plate. I'm always running around. And do you have like a stress management routine? And just so you know, Risa, if you do decide to go, check into it. She goes, yeah, we have something with like Himalayan salt rocks, like heated. They do that, and they put that on your back with CBD oil, which I've never tried that, but I was like, I'll give it a go. And apparently, like each month, they do this routine and hit certain points of the body, triggering the body pressure points or something, and it helps alleviate. I was like, that's a really, if you go with that, Risa, that's a good thing to do because like it's no different. Well, in fact, it just emphasizes the self care. Taking a hot bubble bath and you relax your muscles, and then afterwards you feel great. So I picture taking the hot bubble baths, relaxing, my morning routines of working out, and then add to the mix the massage, the Himalayan salt thing, and I should be walking around like a jellyfish in no time, like really relaxed and chill. um, but if you do go for your birthday, let me know what you decide to select. Is it a hand and stone massage by you? Because I know they're pretty universal. We have it's a hand stone body massage. There's like a whole chain of them, and that's what they're called. Uh, my daughter's gonna go too. And that was like the other biggest reason because she's been through so much. So I said, she finished work and I said, I just signed us up for monthly massages and no regrets. She was like, good, good. I need that. So I thought, wonderful. So yeah, um, I think that a lot of the shows that are out there are catering to the whole like idea of lust, and it's great to do this and spread yourself out and all this other nasty stuff, and like um it's so not worth it. Like, and then there's guys out there they think that like you know they're the guy on Lucifer, and like these girls, you got to stop this nonsense, stop feeding this ego and this BS. Like, oh, you look like the guy on Lucifer, and then you're giving this guy this ego boost when, man, his ego boost should be about his motivation and not being a lazy fuck and not entertaining multitudes of women and thinking like he's hot, like I had one, Tina, you know about this one. I was like, please laugh myself to the bank, like friggin' X thinking he looks like Pitbull. Public service announcement, you do not look anything like Pitbull. Like, don't even go there at all. Pitbull is in a network that I'm familiar with, and yeah, you don't look anything like him. Like, I think it's interesting how these boys will try to take on a persona of a man, right? They're like, I know Pitbull ain't out there like the stuff that we are seeing, like he's not out there poisoning women. Like I know that he's got a lot of goals and drives and everything. So like I think it's so interesting. And I said yesterday, the boys hating on the men for what they will never be. you know. And then also these boys, like, you girls are like demonic illusions. Okay, I thought you wrote something else, right? Yeah, demonic illusions. Um, and girls are just like adding to the bullshit, like, but these boys will say that they look like such and such, but they don't even have like the level of understanding. They don't even do the work as such and such. Like, you don't look like them. You're not that, like, oh my God. And what gets me is that they will use it as an ego boost and just lie, manipulate, and carry on and think that there's something that they're not. And it's like, at the same time, it's like, why don't you just reverse that? If that's who you like or whatever, why don't you try to aspire to adopt some of their characteristics that really is for the taking and universal for everyone when you think about it, such as drive, ambition, self-respect, integrity. You aspire to have those characteristics before you even dare try to compare yourself, and there's really no comparison, so they're always quick to do that. It's like, yeah, you're not that individual. You're not going to come close to that individual because this is how you really operate. Delusions. They obviously don't own a mirror. No, they don't. They do not. So I'm not going to let this video run too long because I had the other one run almost 2 hours. I love you all. God bless, no stress. There's going to be more to come. And I will talk to you, Queen, soon. I love you, love you, love you.